Evening. We'd like to start the meeting fairly promptly if that's possible. We've got quite a bit to get through, but I'm very conscious that we have other lives as well outside of here, so I'll try and get through the meeting pretty quick. So your assistance would be much appreciated. I'd like to welcome all councillors to this meeting. I can confirm that we don't expect any members of the public, but I would like to remind everybody that this meeting will be conducted in accordance with our standing orders. I would like to point out the exits as normal as we go down the stairs, the way we came in, and the assembly point is outside the takeaway Chinese. Can I please ask, have all councillors received a pack? And have you all had time to absorb it? Thank you very much. And equally, I'd like to remind all councillors of the protocol for when voting is to raise one's hand. Thank you. Okay, let's kick off. Justin, I'll let you confirm that we're not expecting anyone from the public to...
No residents request to speak.
Good. Could we please have any apologies of absence?
Apologies received from Councillor Watkins. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, with all the items on the agendas, can I please ask the usual question, would anybody like to declare an interest of any item on the agenda? No? Thank you. Right, we'll start with Chairman's report, item 4. I would just like to congratulate Justin's team, particularly himself and Deliti, for all the work they put into the budget. We had 2 very good budget workshops. Nearly all councillors attended. I think all questions were answered, and I think it's a very, very good process. So, Justin, thank you. Please pass us on to your team.
Yes. Just to note the recent government finance policy statement for local government 26-27 to 28-29, where it confirms that there's no council tax referendum principles for town and parish councils during that settlement period. It also confirms the intention to consult at the provisional local government finance settlement in December 2025, which is positive in the short term, but it is time limited and it does not provide a commitment beyond 28-29. If referendum principles, sometimes being described as capping town parish councils, were extended to parish councils in future years, it could materially restrict how parish councils can increase the precept to meet unavoidable costs, pressures and new responsibilities, including major asset maintenance, replacement, potential service transfers, any local government reorganisation changes and staffing liabilities. So I think it's just to be mindful, whilst in the short term it's good that we've had confirmation that there won't be any capping up to the financial year of 28-29, it's quite unusual that there's been a time limit put on it, and there is a concern that thereafter parish and town councils could be capped, and that's a cap on the percentage and what we can increase the council tax by. I think this could be incredibly damaging for smaller parish councils, and it really depends on how those caps are administered and what restrictions. So I think really the key point here is just when setting the budget and discussing it for next financial year and future budgets, my advice to members is to maintain a sustainable precept trajectory and just to be mindful of the fact that there is a risk the parish council could be capped in the future, and to avoid using excessive general reserves to support recurring expenditure, except where there is a clear time-limited rationale and a plan to recover them if doing so.
Excuse me, there was an announcement on the radio at 6 o'clock this morning to say that 4 or 5 of the London councils will be totally uncapped, and they'll be able to raise extra money by increasing parking charges, goodness knows what, all sorts of things. Now, this is a complete change of policy for for some period of time, I think, isn't it? I think Kensington at Chelsea for one, Southwark was another, and I can't remember what they are, but it's just a really odd one to suddenly come out with after so many years.
It's worth noting referendum principles or capping of councils was brought in 2008, and that impacted all county, district and borough councils across the country. And that's limited. So let's take Horsham as an example. The most they can increase their council tax by is 3%, and the county is limited at 3%, although the +2 for adult social care was added at a later point. Now, with really large councils like county, it causes problems because as costs rise, the deficit in income to expenditure, if you can only increase your main source of income by 3%, but all costs have gone up 5%, each year that progresses, the gap gets bigger and unfortunately services get cut. And that's what we've seen with the county council. Grass cuts have been reduced to a minimal amount because they have to save costs or they can't afford it. And we see it across Southwater, not just here, just most highways, you'll see encroachment from bushes and things. So I think it's just a risk that councillors need to be aware of. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but I don't think it would be right for me to not provide that advice and to make councillors aware.
Thank you. Moving on now to item 6, correspondence.
So correspondence, you may or may not have already heard and seen, but we had an email through just to confirm that the new mayors for the mayoral strategic authorities were expected to be elected in Sussex and Brighton, as you know, also Greater Essex, Norfolk and Suffolk, Hampshire and the Solent in May 2026. But these have been postponed by central government until May 2028, so they've been pushed back 2 years. I can confirm that local government reorganisation and the unitarisation of borough, district and county councils continues as planned. It's just the mayoral strategic authority which has been delayed by 2 years. If anyone's interested in some of the reasons, I can provide more details after the meeting.
Chairman, I understand the government wants the reorganisation in place before the mayors are elected. That's the reason why they've delayed it.
That's interesting, thank you.
But it'd be
Councillor
interesting to know whether they go ahead with the county elections in May. That still hasn't been made clear.
Thank you. Moving on to item 7, the minutes. And this is just to note, because our minutes of our last meeting were approved at the last full council meeting on the 19th of November. Item 2, though, are there any matters arising from those minutes that anyone would like to bring up? No? Thank you very much. Item 8, committee membership. Well, I'm pleased to inform that you all that we have, amongst our new councillors, we have 3 councillors who are with us tonight who would formally like to join our F&GP committee. Now, to comply with standing orders, we actually have to vote you on individually, which this councillor here reminded me of. So rather than do it as a group, and I think we're all in agreement that we need some more input, we need some new blood, not just on this committee, but as generally on the council. So thank you very much for putting yourselves forward. If that's okay, we can go ahead with the formal process.
Yeah, if I could just confirm for the meeting minutes that all 3 councillors who have expressed an interest to join the committee have attended finance training.
Yes, thank you. So first of all, Councillor Malcolm Brearley, thank you very much for showing an interest. And can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Knott, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Moore. Thank you. All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? No, carried. Secondly, John Potts. Again, thank you very much for your applications. Do I have a proposer for John? Councillor Knott. Seconder, Councillor Vickers.
Sorry, Vickers.
All in favour? Thank you.
Unanimous. Welcome to the committee, Councillors Potts, Briley and French. Just to confirm to committee members, all three councillors were provided copies of the reports and documents to be considered in the remainder of the agenda with 3 clear days advance of this meeting. Are presumably read up and read the reports and so forth.
Thank you. Right, moving on to item 9, accounts. Item 1 under these accounts is the aid debtors. Just to note that the sales ledger list is as of the 30th of November 2025. Item 2, bank reconciliation. Councillor Brown has submitted the reconciliation. Fine, and that's been received by council. So we are now deemed to approve the bank reconciliation by Councillor Moore, seconded. Councillor Knott. All those in favour? Including new councillors? Any against? Any abstentions? No, unanimous. Item 3, the balance sheet. Same process, balance sheet and earmarked reserves up until the 30th of November. Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Knott, seconded by Councillor Moore. All those in favour? Any against? And any abstentions? Unanimous. Item number 4, detailed income and expenditure, as you will see in your pack again, as of the 30th of November. Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Vickers, seconded by Councillor Moore. All those in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? Unanimous. Moving on to item 10, payments schedule. There's a detailed payment schedule in your pack, which I'm sure you've all seen, and that is as dated as of the 17th of December. Could I have a proposer, please, that they're happy with the payment schedule? Councillor Moore, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Knott. All those in favour? Unanimous. None against, no abstentions. Thank you. Now, moving on to item 11, the budget review. If you look at pages 40 to 42 on your pack, for those who need a second look, I'll ask the Executive Officer to give an update on the budget review.
So this report has been circulated to councillors and is on our website as well. So I won't go into any detail on what's already in there. I think I just want to, as we have got the draft budget for the ensuing financial year of 26-27, just to highlight the end of year position for this current financial year. So based on the data available on the 10th of December, myself and our senior accounts administrator project our total income for the year to be £712,612. Total expenditure for the year is £770,767. And that results in a movement from general reserves to balance the budget of £58,155. Now, these calculations are all in the report. When adjusting those as per the various items in that list, the net movement from general reserves to balance the budget is £38,077. So that puts our estimated general reserves for this current financial year at £228,459. So that is the position we anticipate will be at year end. I think what I will do, now that we've got the reporting template set up in the office, future meetings, once we're far enough through the financial year, I will start putting some more forecasts in place for future meetings as part of this budget review. I think it would be quite helpful. Last point on that is just the variance from the minimum general reserve policy figure at the moment. Our adopted policy says 230,000. Based on projections, we will be below that come year end. That's all I have to say.
Chairman, may I just say that looking at the review of this, when you look at the process that we had last year and the previous year, when we set the budget, we realised that we would eat into reserves because of the decisions we've made. And when you look at where we've ended up, it shows you that we've been very good at forecasting the cost and the budget. With and I think looking back on historical budgets, they were wildly inaccurate when they tried to marry them up. This is what I would expect from a Gold Star council, because we're hitting what we believe we thought we would do, and it just underpins that we're doing the process that we're adopting is correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. And I'd like to reiterate that. But, I think the Executive Officer and his team continue to do an excellent job. And equally, I think this committee is heavily involved and has a very good relationship with the team downstairs. So long may that continue. Thank you.
I've just thought of something which I'll just double check, see if I can get it up quickly on my emails. If not, I'll no, I don't have the letter. I was just going to make the Virgin Money account. They've just been acquired by another bank. I can't remember which one it is. What I'll do is I'll put a report out. I'll put it in the meeting minutes as to who's taking over that Virgin Money.
I believe it's Nationwide.
Oh, it's Nationwide. Sorry. Yeah, Nationwide. I remembered.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about the bank accounts? No? Okay, thank you. Moving on. Now moving on to item 13, investment and savings in accordance with our investment policy. And as most of you know, we use the Flagstone platform, which is detailed again in your pack on page 44. Do we have any questions? Nothing to add, Justin? No? No.
The only thing I'd like to say, Chairman, is that when you see the amount of interest that we've received, we've made some good choices on investments, and the people of Southwater can see that the money has been invested wisely. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Moore. Okay, now moving on to item number 14, operational report. You will see that in your pack, detailed of some of the works that's gone on locally, and there's a few pictures there. Does anybody have any questions about any of that work? Did you want to add to anything? No?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have anything further to add to what the operations officer's already put in her report.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 15, our general reserves policy. It's to consider amendments, and again, we will vote on these amendments. And this has obviously been updated. It's quite a detailed document, page 45 to 48 in your pack. Perhaps, Justin, you might want to elaborate on this.
Yeah, so the last couple of reviews of this is reviewed every year, but I wanted to take a bit more time to actually check over the wording this time around, and I've updated it. You'll see in track changes, I've now included sections from the Smaller Authorities Proper Practices Panel Practitioner's Guide on the recommended levels of general reserves council should hold. Historically, or previously, a couple of years ago, the general guidance used to be 50% of the precept or 50% of NRE. That's now changed. I always had an issue with that because it didn't take into account the size of a council. If you were a very small council with a small precept with a couple play areas, if you have a major repair of several thousand, that could result in a substantial hit. And actually, a council of that size should really be having something more like 100% of its precept or NRE in reserves, whereas a very large council, town council with precept of 3-4 million, you would expect to be on the other side of 25% of that. So I don't have too much to add really, other than you can see the amendments that have been added, the updates on the basis of the SAP Practitioner's Guide. 3 months would equate to an estimated amount of around 200,000 based on current figures for this financial year, not next financial year. And then lastly, if you refer back to page 56 of the pack, just updates the values and the value of risk. I think notably, I just wanted to touch base on the elections risk. It's around £18,000 for a by-election if it gets called. So should we have a vacancy occur and a by-election is called by residents, then the cost of that is 18,000. So that the value of that risk is now in our general reserves policy, of which £10,000 we actually have an earmarked reserve. So reduce the value of risk to 8. Now, of course, you could have multiple by-elections called for each vacancy, but I think allowing for one would be reasonable. I think if we were a political council, then you may want to allow more than that. So yeah, the overall risk quantified actually lowers the reserves figure minimum from 230,000 to 216,000. So based on year-end projections, we will still be above by 12,000, 12 to 14,000.
Excellent, thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions about the amendments? Like any more detail? Okay, well, could I have a proposer then, please, for this policy? Proposed by Councillor Moore, seconded by Councillor Knott. All those in favour? Anyone against? Any amendment? No, nothing? No. Good.
Just
Unanimous.
noticed on page 57, there's a percentage of precept. I need to update that so it's reflective of the 216,000. So I'll add that in. So page 8 of the policy, this table should actually all be on the same page, but the percentage on the bottom row of 42%, I need to update that. I will update that. So it's it'll be 216,000 divided by 542,528 to get the new percentage figure. But I haven't. I've just realised I haven't done it.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, we now move on to item number 16, which is next year's budget. We mentioned it earlier about we've had the workshops. In the pack is not the final version, but certainly version 2, which I think most of you probably had a look at. There will be certain changes, I would imagine, between now and the next full council meeting. Would anyone like to open up the discussion, please, on the budget? And then does anybody have any questions? Was there anything you wanted to add?
I think the documents within the pack and emails circulated to councils explain. I don't know if I have too much to add.
Chairman, could the executive officer just confirm under page number 62, which is 2 of the budget spreadsheet, under 4910 neighbourhood plan, can you just confirm what the situation is as a result of tonight's decision the extraordinary meeting?
I think some further work is required to understand the weighting of how much should be included in the budget for next year for the neighbourhood plan. A lot of the work, I'd say the work is front-loaded and the costs are front-loaded to the first year because of the call to sites and consultation and all the technical reports. So I think what I will do is I will check with the planning consultant just to get a steer on weighting of the total cost and how much should be in year one. There's different ways the council can deal with this. So it could weight it to year one, or it could say we accept it's going to be total project cost is this, but we want to split it equally 50% over each year to smooth out increases. There are different ways that the council could budget for the minimum amount, the minimum cost, all in year one, and then the remainder in year two, so 27, 28, could be anywhere from budgeting zero if you manage to get everything done for the 75,000, or whatever remaining amount of money is needed to conclude. And then obviously it's worth noting that if the council did budget, say, 75,000 for next financial year, anything that hasn't been expended in that financial year, we would set into the earmark reserves so that the project can continue and there's a funding source for the following year. So yeah, there's different ways the council can look at this in terms of how it sort of smooths the impact
Yes.
on precept.
Right. Thank you for that.
Yes, I think with regards to the figures, I know, picking up on something that Councillor Brown brought up earlier, in percentage terms, it does look like a large increase in the precept, in the budget, but we've discussed the reasons why, but I think we need to be clever also about how we market it and how we present it to the public, and that's something I think we need to bear in mind, which possibly we could discuss at the next full council meeting.
I've actually got some stuff underway currently with Community Engagement Officer. So we will be, I'm working with the Senior Accounts Administrator as well for us to produce some key information for residents. So when residents receive the letter from Horsham District Council outlaying County Council, Police Crime Commissioner, Horsham District Council and Southwold Parish Council with the respective percentage increases and the nominal amounts for each council and council tax, we want to include a leaflet in there so residents can understand exactly how a pound or each pound of their council tax is expended. So that's the plan. Based where I live, I had a leaflet come through with my letter, and it was really helpful in actually understanding how the Band D amount of, say, £120 or whatever it is expended by the parish or town council.
Chairman, have you already, can I just ask, has the executive officer already asked Horsham District Council if they can include a leaflet from us? Because obviously they're the ones that send out the...
We've asked the question, we're waiting for a response.
Let me know if you don't get one soon.
We haven't stated that Waverley do it, so can they? But hopefully they will be amiable to it. We appreciate there will be a printing cost, but
Yeah, exactly.
we're prepared to take that on and do what we need to.
Yeah. It also might be a more expensive letter with an extra piece of paper in it, postage-wise. Thank you.
Okay, any other issues on this item? If not, we'll move on to items 17 and 18. Because they're both sensitive issues, I'm going to suspend standing orders and we're going to go into confidential session.
Stream